Part 2 of how I built an online business after my deportation from the US. So at this point, I had quit my 9 to 5 and I had transitioned into selling my services as a virtual assistant to US-based realtors. Initially, I was doing this full time. I was working about 40 hours for a realtor, but I was able to create my own schedule. He would, give me the tasks and I would work them in the morning around my kids' school, around my trips, and I could work from anywhere. This was where I got the first taste of freedom because when I was working for, 9 to 5 companies, sometimes I had work in the office or it was mandatory that I was on site in my home office while I was while I was working for them. So I got my first taste of freedom, I can work on my own schedule and anywhere. I could work while I'm traveling. I could work on the airport, an airplane, and it was a game changer. So while I'm working as a full-time VA, I also started investing into my own brand, my own company. And it was a turning point when my US-based realtor asked me to build him a website. Well, I didn't know how to build a website. So I Googled it and I built a website for him. After I built his website, I was like, hold on. I can build my own website now for my cups, for my platform. So I built my first website through squarespace.com. I used to funnel, traffic to my other platforms, GRC, Starby raffles, all that shit. So slowly but surely, I started investing into, my branding. People started to know me, Annie GRC, across social media. I started dropping, I started my YouTube channel. I started the Starby Wheels. I started Starbucks. And I started realizing that it would take me 2 weeks to make $1,500 with my US-based realtor, give or take. And it would take me one YouTube video to make the same in a month at the very beginning. This is when I realized that I was investing my time into the wrong area. So I slowly started to scale back and I would go part-time and I went full-time into content creating. And it was scary because I didn't know if it was going to work. And I wanted to make sure that I left the door open in case I needed to revert back to full-time virtual assisting or even the full-time back to a 9 to 5 company. My YouTube channel grew, my platforms grew, and it grew from the consistency of always showing up. And this is when I realized that my entire life I had been working for somebody else's dream, somebody else's company. And I had a lot of skills because of that. Customer service, I had loan programs, I learned how to build a website. I was teaching myself all these things to put into, my realtor's business. And I realized I can use these things for my own business. I could build my own website. I could do my own books. I could do this. I could do that. Starbucks cups is what taught me how to invest my money, how to flip it, how to take one cup and flip it into 2,000 cups. Eventually, I transitioned from, the Starby raffles into Starbucks sales. That was also a risk because I didn't know if it was going to do well or if it was going to cancel out my wheels. I took it on anyway and business was booming. I was selling and I was still doing Starby Wheel. I began investing into my equipment from my laptop to my computer. I hired people off Fiverr to do my branding, my logo, my intro to YouTube. Slowly, I kept scaling back more and more hours from my VA job because content creating was taking so much of my time. And now, what do I do full time? I run my online business. From my shop to my cups to my content to my YouTube channel to Patreon to Blue Page. I've yet to retire the VA services because I always keep it there just in case.